How did you become a weather forecaster, Charlotte? And when did you start doing TV forecasts?
Well, I studied physics for 4 years at university, then spent 6 months on a weather training course. I worked at the local weather centre for a while. Until about 5 years ago, I got a job with the BBC doing weather forecasts. I actually started doing them on television 3 years ago, after 2 years giving radio forecasts. I really enjoy the work.
And what do you like best about it?
I feel I'm helping those who need to know what the weather's going to be like. Sometimes we get letters from farmers thanking us for what we're doing. And I know how important the forecast is to people going out in small boats, because my favourite hobby is sailing.
Does it make many people change their plans or decide not to travel?
Oh, yes. Those flying small aeroplanes, for instance, they often choose their route according to the forecast. And people planning journeys by road want to know if there's going to be fog or heavy snow so they can set out earlier. Or not go at all if conditions are really bad. And the forecast can warn those taking the train to expect delays.
So with all those people depending on you, the forecast has to be right, doesn't it?
Yes, and these days we normally get it right for the following day around 85% of the time. And most of the time we can say what it's going to be like 3 days into the future too. 30 years ago, we could only say what the weather would be like 1 day ahead. But now we sometimes get it right for the whole week. We have weather balloons and photos taken from space and, of course, computers.
All that must make your job a lot easier.
Well, yes and no. Certainly it helps you produce more accurate forecasts, but it also creates a huge amount of extra work for us. You only appear on TV for a few minutes every day, but you spend hours studying all this information and preparing the forecasts.
And what do people say when they recognise you? In the street, say?
Well, nearly everyone is really friendly. I think they realise that with weather like ours, it's quite hard to be right all the time. I mean, it can be sunny at one end of the street and raining heavily at the other end. But occasionally you meet someone who says, "You were wrong again," even if you weren't, and that can be fairly annoying. And just the other week, a man in a shop said to me, "I never watch the weather forecast because you're always wrong." So I replied, "If you never watch it, how do you know?" He couldn't answer that.